one of the major concepts in rational emotive behavior therapy is that you have these irrational demands. You've heard me talk about them in other videos if you've followed along for any length of time. It's probably the cornerstone, in fact, of debating some of the beliefs that you have that are causing you dysfunctional emotions. And one of those types of irrational demands that you have are that things should not be a certain way. And this speaks a lot about those of you that seem so stuck in the past, that it should not have happened that way. It should not have been that way. They should not have done this. I should not have done that. That demand is going to get you in trouble. You can never prove the should. In fact, I've got a sign in my office that had a quote from Dr. Albert Ellis that says, "I will not should on myself today." It's a play on words, obviously, but the should is what's always going to get you in trouble. I'll give you a personal example. For a period of time in my business, I was struggling and dealing with the billing, getting things to insurance on time, collecting from people that owed money. So through a series of people that I knew, I found a company that specialized in my size private practice. And long story short, they didn't deliver like they should have. Catch it? They didn't deliver what they said that they would do. They only did partial work. Their whole idea was that it was supposed to make it to where I no longer had to deal with that side of the business. And in fact, they doubled my work. They would often have me call and try to straighten out things that was their whole promotion of what they would do when it came to insurance. They wanted me to go through all the invoices to try and find out which ones needed to be sent the most. Anyway, it became more work instead of less work. Didn't do what they promised they'd do. So eventually I had to let them go. I was under a contract with them. I couldn't afford the buyout, so I just had to deal with it for a while. And to be perfectly honest, it left me in quite a mess of trying to straighten all that out, trying to figure out how to do it all myself again, trying to come to all these realizations of how much money I've lost over the last couple of years. And I'll just tell you, the number is sickening. And I don't have a lot of recourse. Don't have a lot of legal recourse because of the contract. Anyway, just that story of how I have had to use things like REBT to put myself in the mindset to be able to take care of this. Because 10 years ago when I started this journey, that thing they should be doing, the way they shouldn't be treating me, that's what would be stuck in my head, forever revolving in a series of anger outbursts, the way I treated other people, not trusting anybody else. And of course I'm not going to trust them. I'm not going to say their name on here. Of course I'm not going to bother and even let their company apologize. They're gone. I'm moving on. I have to move on. And that doesn't mean I'm happy. The fact I'm not angry doesn't mean that I'm happy that it happened. The fact I'm not angry is that I can now do something about it. And I can make that decision of what to do about it based on the fact that I have a healthy negative emotion about it. I'm upset. I'm very upset. But sitting around being angry, like many of you do that reach out for help or might be listening to this, is just going to make everything 10 times worse. I am not letting it go. I don't just lay down and take it. And I'm not recommending you do. But you know damn good and well when you're at your worst, that anger that you have against what they should done or must have done or shouldn't have treated you or must have done for you, you're just sitting there festering in that anger, not making good decisions, because you don't make good decisions based on that. I've said before that I know sometimes anger does work out. There's a righteous anger at times. I've given examples of those before. But you treating your family like crap because you're bringing your work home, you treating other people like crap, and deciding you can never trust anybody ever again. I know that you tough guys think that that's exactly the way, because that's how I was 10 years ago. How would we ever trust anybody again? Well, you can decide the parameters for trust. But deciding it can never happen again because those people that I've labeled a certain way, because I've decided it's the worst thing that could possibly happen in my business, deciding that I can't possibly stand it, low frustration tolerance, it's not serving me. It didn't serve me. Yeah, I was mad for a while. I'm still upset. But again, with that upsetness, I can actually do something about this. Another example is talked to somebody recently who felt like they wasted a lot of time at their business by not getting the promotion. And they actually realize now, after doing some digging, that they really weren't in a good place for the promotion. And they feel like now, because of that, because of their own failure, that they've completely wasted the year of being promoted and are going to have to try it again. And I don't think that should be happy for anybody. However, if he sits there and consistently just pouts in this anger, feeling like a terrible person because he screwed up for a year, if he just sits there in that anger, explain to me exactly what it's going to accomplish. I know you can listen to some motivational videos and try to turn your anger into motivation. That's fine, but I'm telling you, it's eating you and it's eating the people around you. I am exactly that person that used to say, I just use my anger for fuel. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe there was times that I did. Maybe there was some rationality to it. Maybe there was some righteousness to it that I could turn into important things. But the reality was, I was angry at everything. I was the Hulk. I wanted to punch everybody, break everything, choke everybody out, push everybody off the road because of something I messed up or something that I demanded somebody else shouldn't do. You cannot prove the demands that are irrational. You cannot prove the shoulds and the shalls and the musts. And we're not talking about just changing one word in order to make yourself feel better, but your desires are rational. And not getting your desires met are going to leave you in a healthy negative emotion. I'm upset, and now I'm going to do something about it. But that blind rage of anger, you honestly believe that you're the only one that feels that? You honestly believe that your family aren't walking around on eggshells? Your bosses are tired of dealing with you? How do you think that promotion didn't work out? They knew he wasn't ready for it, and he feels like he wasted a whole year. But the anger of wasting the whole year and feeling like he's a terrible person for doing so, because he should not, must not have done that, is what's going to sink him again if he doesn't get to understanding that the demand and the label of self is not rational. The desire and the label about this incident, about this thing, is rational. The globalizing, overgeneralizing to self and other people in the world is what's destroying a lot of this country. And they're doing it because of demands that they can't demand.